everyone, the Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, finally, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Optimus Prime. Now, I know I am insanely late on doing this figure, but that's mostly because the majority of my stores around me don't like stocking things. And this is the first time that I have seen this figure on my shelves. And honestly, like, it's not in the best of shape, just in general. But for the most part, I don't care about the packaging. It's just, this has been beat up. But as you can see, you got the nice Transformers text, the Optimus Prime, Rise of the Beast logo there. You got that open package, which sucks. Now, this is not the Studio Series one that's in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line. This is primarily a mainline Rise of the Beast Optimus that is, I don't want to say budget friendly, but does not have all the bells and whistles. But you can see you got that very Rise of the Beast style package. You got this image that kind of carries over to the side. I kind of dig that. That's cool looking. This side here, you know, Voyager class. Up close image of Optimus. The back section here shows that he transforms in 20 steps. So again, not as elaborate as that Studio Series one, but it's still fairly decent stand-in for Optimus from the film. I'm glad to kind of finally find him. But for the package on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright, so here we have the new Rise of the Beast Voyager class Optimus Prime opened up and out of its packaging. And a couple things about this guy. First off, he feels and noticeably is pretty small for a Voyager. I mean, essentially, he's a deluxe size figure here, realistically. That's right off the bat. The other thing is, yes, it is not a Studio Series figure. So as I mentioned, it's lacking a lot of the bells and whistles. Primarily in terms of paint applications. Vehicle mode-wise, doesn't look all that bad. But all this very bland gray throughout the entire thing really makes it stand out. Now, you got some nice silver up here. And honestly, the color probably wouldn't look that bad if it was a little bit darker. But this light coloring just does not look good at all. You can see he does have weapon storage. You can just plug it in right there. But you got his nice little blaster. But again, you just get a lot of this gray. I also don't understand these wings. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if he had those. But these are annoying and kind of ugly looking. I wish those could like fold away or something. But it's just, yeah, it is a cheaper figure. I think in general it's about $3 to $4 cheaper than the Studio Series. But it definitely feels that penny pinching. Overall, it's not bad. Like, a lot of the detail in here is really very nice. Like, a lot of sculpted in detail throughout the entire thing looks really very good. Even when you look at the front section here, this all has a tremendous amount of detail that's actually sculpted into it. You just lose a lot of it by whitewashing it with this very drab gray plastic. It's just not very impressive. You got this nice bluish window here, which looks good, but again, you can kind of see like there's sculpted in windshield wipers, but you know, you don't really notice it because of the coloring. I mean, it is what it is. It's a more budget style movie figure, and it's from the main line, so again, it is going to be cheaper. It's not a Studio Series, and I think a lot of us kind of get spoiled by the Studio Series. This is definitely not it. But it's a good-looking toy nonetheless, but like I said, small, lacking a lot of paint detail, and I don't understand these little wings. Generally speaking, vehicle mode, a very average look for him. Now, transformation is also pretty easy and doesn't have all the same kind of elaborate nature that the Studio Series has, but you're just going to tuck these in, clip these in just like so. Come around here to this little tail hitch bit. This is a little bit tricky. I'm just going to pull that apart and then rotate that around just like so. These feet will then rotate around, and as you bring them around, it brings the shin out as well. So swivel that around. That will sit right there, just like that. Come around here to these side bits. You want to take this and pull this away. Put your fingernail in there. Just pull that away there. Do that on this side as well. Pull that away. You can kind of bring this around and loosen this up if you really want to. Take the little tire section here. This is going to plug in. Pull that away. And this is going to accordion up. And then this is going to fold in. Just like so. Does that actually lock in? I don't feel like that does. No, that just kind of sits right there. And then you can take these legs, straighten these out. And that will clip down into place. And then you can rotate this whole section. Well, let's worry about that here in a minute. But straighten that out just like so. Kind of keep that like that. These arms are going to then kind of separate here. Separate here. You can fold out the fists from the side, and then this section here is going to separate. So pull that away, and then rotate these arms around just like that. And then here you can keep that down, and then rotate him at this upper portion of the torso. That will sit up there. Kind of straighten all this out. You can then bring the arms down and rotate them. Bring them down, rotate them, and then this is going to collapse towards the back. Sit right there. Collapse that to the back on that side as well. And then you can rotate his head around. And then when you bring this all the way down, one thing that's kind of neat is, can't get that out of the way. When you take this section here and push this all the way out, it will kind of push his head up and then automorph that. That's kind of cool. I do dig that. And then this, yeah, like see, this doesn't actually, I feel like this doesn't lock into place. It just kind of sits there. Unless I'm missing something. No, that just sits there. Straighten all this out. Straighten that out. Okay, that's a little bit loose. But once you're done, get it situated decently. There you have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And this gets a little bit better. Now, realistically, Optimus here in his robot mode doesn't look all that bad. I mean, it is what it is, obviously. The biggest thing that, again, really hurts the figure is the very bland gray plastic on this. I mean, the figure, for the most part, is extremely well done. I mean, he's extremely detailed. I mean, you can see a lot of the detail. You just lose a lot of it because of the coloring. Articulation-wise, this guy is phenomenal. For a Voyager figure, really is quite impressive. But he is still pretty small, as I was talking about. So, standing him there, here's kind of my go-to for the, like, Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast sort of thing. Here that is. And, again, I mean, let me get his feet kind of situated, like, haphazardly, correct? You can see that there is a big difference here. And this is where you really see a difference. Now, obviously, this is a Studio Series figure, so a lot of extra paint detail, all that stuff looks extremely well done here. This, I still don't know what is happening with this dude's Wonka legs. So obviously there's a lot more engineering involved, a lot more paint applications, things like that. But this is where you're really seeing a big difference between Studio Series and mainline. And I don't like necessarily criticizing it too much because obviously it is a cheaper price-pointed figure. But he just, this guy just looks so much better. I mean, he's still extremely well detailed, extremely well articulated. All that stuff is there. I just, you get a real big sense of, I don't want to say letdown, but there is a bit of letdown, realistically, with this guy. And, I mean, this is still the one that really takes the cake and shines in my collection. So a lot of times I look at new figures and I'm like, is that one good enough to kind of replace the other one that was in my display? And I mean, as you could probably figure out from this review, this guy's not it. Overall though, like I said, good detail. Coming in closer, you can see a lot of it sculpted in, and like a lot of nice tech detail in there. The head sculpt looks really good. I really like that. But you can see like a lot of this sculpted in detail. Even when you're looking on his shoulders, even when you're looking at the little bits here, you look at the thighs, a lot of sculpted in detail that you just lose out on because of the lack of color on him, and that's definitely unfortunate. I also don't really like these giant little bits that just dangle here. Again, Studio Series would probably have that fold away. These look silly on him still. I mean, his little tires here kind of fold up. I mean, for the most part, he like compresses, looks pretty good. It's just you're missing so much in terms of paint detail. Now, I did say that this guy's extremely well articulated, and he really is, and I'm very happy with it. The biggest thing that I would say articulate-wise that he lacks is he doesn't have a ball joint here, really, where you can get him to look up. He can look left and right. He has light piping, although it doesn't really work all that well. But the left and right does kind of hinder him because you can't get him to look up at all, which is unfortunate. Shoulders here do have a full rotation, and then you have this hinge right here. This kind of like moves independently, as you can see, you know. So when you move it out, that looks weird. You can't really extend that out. So that's odd looking because I feel like his shoulders should all move. I mean, like you get a little bit of it right there, but like that's kind of awkward. He does rotate at the upper part of the bicep. Has a real good bend here at the elbow. The wrists also do have a nice ball joint on there, and then you can hinge those in and out. It's kind of part of the transformation itself. Waist here, so he has this rotation up at that section. Doesn't really have much down here. I mean, it does go, but you have to use the rest of his torso to get a twist on there, but you can. And again, you can get like a really cool, but this is like I was saying, getting a cool pose like that would look so much better if you could get him to look up, because boom, I'm like, cool pose. I mean, I'm not good at posing, you guys know that, but it's like, bam, you know, and these little skirt pieces. So something like that, you know, it would look better if he could look up. He can't, which stinks. Now, he does have a bit of an ab crunch here as kind of, again, part of the transformation. So you can kind of get him going to if you really wanted to. But again, that looks weird because it's now you just got a hinge right there. So it's not a lot of space there, but you can articulate it, which is nice. You got the hips that move in and out, forward and back. You got this little skirt piece that moves. You have a rotation at the upper part of the thigh. You have a bend at the knee. And again, a lot of real nice detail there. I like how they got this little cover piece that, you know, kind of fills in, but you can't really do much with it. And these legs really do kind of remind me of the Michael Bay look for him. So, you know, is what it is. The ankles do move forward and back. These are a little bit looser. Not bad. I mean, I could easily tighten those. And then you have the ankle tilt. So, again, cool sort of posing options with this guy. You just can't get him looking up. So, it is kind of unfortunate. But the overall look on him in terms of the action figure is nice, but he does definitely sorely lack from the paint details on him. I mean, I can forgive things like this little extra bit of kibble, this little bit. Just the coloring on him is definitely a disappointment. I mean, even if you just maybe not even necessarily added paint on it to cover that. Use a darker color plastic. That would have worked a whole lot better, in my opinion. But in general, the figure is good, but you definitely do feel, like I said earlier, the penny pinching when it comes to the coloration of the guy. Now, for his transformation back, we're going to kind of straighten out his head there. Take these little hands. We're going to tuck these down just like that. Just kind of get them out of the way. Come around here to the feet. You're going to fold this whole section up and collapse this all the way down just like that. Just hinge that and make sure that you pull those little bottom pieces out. And then just kind of straighten out his legs. Then rotate him here at the waist section like that. And then this whole section is going to detach and it's going to swivel back. Here you can kind of take the feet and squeeze them together. Everything's going to come together right about there. But just kind of leave that like that. Kind of take these, rotate these down and out. Like I said, you're going to bring this kind of right there. And then kind of slot these right here along the side. just like so. Just kind of situate that. And then take this back section. We're going to take this and then rotate his head down. And as you bring it around, then you can squeeze the little chest piece together, kind of keep that all straight and create that little front bit. Now these, we're going to bring that out. And then this section here is going to rotate back. And then this literally just basically goes into the exact same configuration that a lot of Optimus Prime figures have, where that just kind of creates this bit. But you got to make sure that you get all these little lineup sections kind of there. Oh, did I do that right? No, hold on. There, hold on. Let me swivel this back out. This is going to come down. And this is going to go all the way around here. So you can kind of bring that back. Bring this up. And just kind of, like I said, sandwich all that. That's going to kind of go there. We'll fiddle with that here in a sec, but that's basically where we're going to need to put it. So again, kind of pull this out, pull this down, rotate this section back, and then again, take this, and let's just kind of make sure we tuck that in there. And again, you're going to sandwich all of that there, and then take this bit, that's going to detach, fold forward. Again, you're just kind of putting things where it needs to go, and then you can kind of start squeezing everything into its proper configuration. So like that right there, keeps that nice and good. This is going to tab in there, keep that nice and good. Kind of situate these legs, basically like that. And now you have Optimus Prime back in his vehicle mode. You can take this, take this and rotate that out, and that also kind of helps to keep that kind of situated. And then you can just take this and put that there. And yeah, my voice is getting bad. All that, but there you have him back in his vehicle mode. Again, truthfully, it's not the best. Honestly, it's a average figure at best. I mean, I think that the vehicle mode here is semi-decent. Get it? Semi? It does what it needs to do. It's got the coloring with like the red, the blue sections here, but a lot of this gray just does not look good. You don't get as much of it here in vehicle mode because it's not showing off a lot of his body, so you don't see as much of it, so it's not as egregious. But it's still noticeable. But it is what it is. Transformation is decent on it. It is a more simplistic kind of transformation than what we've seen with a lot of the Studio Series figures. I don't necessarily fault this one, though, because, again, this one is not a Studio Series. So it is cheaper. It's less involved. And that's reflected in the price point. So, again, I don't fault it too terribly much based on how much it costs. It does a pretty decent job. There's definitely some aspects that I don't like. Like I don't get these little wing bits right here. I don't understand that. But it is what it is, kind of thing. But like I said, the transformation is decent for what it is, but not overly spectacular. Robot mode looks really good in terms of the overall design. Again, there are some aspects like with the hanging panels and things like that that really do kind of detract from it. But the biggest issue that I have with them, again, is the coloring. You get a lot more of this gray when you look at like the abdomen and stuff like that. And it just doesn't come together all that well. But the figure as a whole is actually pretty decent. The articulation is phenomenal on them. Just really make sure that you are not getting this expecting a lot of the Studio Series or even some of the more, like stuff like this. Don't expect that because this is a definite cheaper figure that feels like it all the way through. Now, all that being said, if this is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, it does seem like it is hitting more retail locations a little bit more readily. So if you are looking for them, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or even Entertainment Earth. For all of those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can swing on by and check out availability on him, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. As always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and